most of the information about the 10th season I've watched on YouTube or read on articles online. So instead of giving you a summary of the 10th season, I am instead going to give some differences between the comic books and the TV series character by character. First on our list would be Daryl Dixon. Now Daryl Dixon is the type of character that when you first see him on the screen, you say he's probably gonna last until the end of the season. But then he lasted until past the 10th season. I don't know how many seasons. And you cannot imagine the Walking Dead TV series without Daryl Dixon. Now the thing is, Daryl Dixon does not exist in the comic book series. Of course, that goes without saying that his brother Merle Dixon doesn't exist in the comic books either. Next on our list is probably the closest friend of Daryl Dixon, and that's Carol. Unlike Daryl Dixon, Carol exists on both the TV series and the comic book series, but with very huge differences. In the TV series, Carol was introduced as a very weak mother until she eventually came out of her shell and became really rough and strong, and was able to fend for herself during the times of The Walking Dead. On the other hand, comic book Carol never came out of her shell, and eventually she killed herself in issue 42 in order to escape all her hardships. Next would be Carol's daughter Sophia, who in the TV series died off screen at the 2nd season. However, in the comic books, when Carol died, she was adopted by Maggie and Glenn, and she actually grew old enough to get married. For now, let's go back to the main character of the Walking Dead series, Rick Grimes. In the comic books, while fighting the governor, Rick's right hand was chopped off. That never happened in the TV series. Also, there was this scene where the group had to go to CDC. There, the doctor who was studying the infection told Rick about the virus and what it could do, that everyone was already infected, and once you die, you turn into a walker. In the comic books, there was no part where they had to go to CDC, so Rick had to discover that for himself. In the TV series, Rick left the show via liftoff in a helicopter instead of being killed off. In the comics, Rick was actually shot dead. Next would be Carl Grimes. It was quite a shock by some fans that Carl died in the TV series because in the comic books, he never did. In fact, he followed his father's footsteps and married Sophia. Next on the Grimes family tree is Judith. Now, Judith in the TV series grew up to be a replacement to Carl Grimes. Unfortunately, in the comic books, Judith didn't last long as she died when she was just a baby. She and her mother Lori were killed during the attack of the governor at the prison. Now on to the darker differences between the TV series and the comic books. That would be Ben and Billy for the comic books and Lizzie and Mika for the TV series. Let's start with Lizzie and Mika. They are the two girls that are within the prison arc. Lizzie killed her sister Mika, and when Carol found out, she had no choice but to put her down. In the comic books, they are very similar to the characters of Ben and Billy. Ben killed his brother Billy, and when everybody found out, Carl secretly killed Ben. And that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I'm pretty sure I missed quite a few differences. That's because I haven't really watched the whole TV series, nor have I read the whole comic book series now that it's ended.